Get expression for IT number 3, to get the hang of something. To get the hang of something, okay? This means to become familiar with or improve your skills gradually. Okay. So you start doing something, you start working at a new company, right? And you need to get the hang of testing tools. Now, to get the hang of testing tools, to get the hang of uh, auto, non-relational databases or whatever, it's the idea that with time, you work and you're improving gradually with time. It's like the before and the after, where you start the first week in a company, you don't know the tools, you don't know the tech stack, and then 3 months later, you get the hang of all the tools, right? So, as you know, in a new job or in the onboarding period, in the first month, you're always just getting the hang of things. You're just learning and improving gradually, okay? So, the verb to hang literally is about like a clothes hanger, where this object here is a clothes hanger, and the verb is actually to like hang something. It's when you hang up your clothes and you just leave it. So that's the origin of the word. Now, the pronunciation here is the H has an exhalation, right? Hang. So when you pronounce the H, just small mini second of exhalation. Hang. Okay, like a long sound. So we can say to get the hang of it. Now, it is a pronoun, it's something you use just to avoid repeating something. You can also say to get the hang of something. Now, the next part is important because if you have a verb after, because you can say to get the hang of, and then I don't know, maybe it's a framework or a testing tool or a new database framework or whatever, right? Like, let's take, for example, React Native. To get the hang of React, to get the hang of working with React. Because you can put a noun, but when you put a verb, you'll see here to get the hang of doing. So if the phrase is to get the hang of working with React Native, or maybe it's Node.js or whatever, right? That you need to say, I'm getting the hang of working with React Native. If you can see here, to get the hang of do is incorrect. And then to get the hang of doing something is also incorrect. Okay. So, examples of things you need to get the hang of working in software engineering. As somebody who doesn't work in software engineering, I'm just a teacher, but I'm trying to help you guys. All right. So, version control systems, you need to get the hang of programming languages and frameworks. One really interesting verb in English is pivot, Pivot, where it talks about how a lot of software engineers need to pivot where you start a new job and you start a completely new programming language and framework, and you need to quickly get the hang of a new framework, right? Get the hang of debugging, troubleshooting, CI/CD pipelines, cloud services, and platforms. So let's see some examples. Version control systems. In our last retrospective, I mentioned it took me a while to get the hang of Git. Okay, that's a very interesting sentence because you have this sentence here. It took, so took is the past of take, and then you need to add the it, as in the process, the situation. It took me a while to get the hang of. And that's a really useful sentence you can use. You could use it a lot. You know, it took me a while to get the hang of, right? Programming language and frameworks. During the planning meeting, I suggested to the team that to get the hang of the new framework, we could pair program the initial module setup. Okay. I shared in the daily stand up that getting the hang of our debugging tools has made identifying and resolving issues much faster for me, right? continuous CI/CD pipelines. In our sprint review, I'll demonstrate how I finally got the hang of setting up our CI/CD pipeline. So let's look at two things here. First, got is the past of get. I got the hang of, okay? Now, the next verb to set up a CI/CD pipeline. So set up is a phrasal verb that really means to create or to like initiate or to start. But in this grammar here, got the hang of setting up. It must be with ing after the preposition of, right? Setting up our CI/CD pipeline. I mentioned during our backlog grooming session that once you get the hang of deploying to AWS, managing our environments becomes incredibly straightforward and efficient. So again, once you get the hang of deploying to AWS. Okay, some ready-to-use phrases are I'm starting to get the hang of a specific technology or a process. Now, what's curious is if you are watching this live, you can see in the corner, up the corner, whatever, StreamYard. Now, actually, I want to change. I want to change to a software called OBS to do the live streaming. But this week, I am still getting the hang of working with OBS. So I think this week and next week, because I already have the hang of working with StreamYard, I know the idea, but OBS is a little bit more difficult. So I'm working to get the hang of it, right? Now, I really like the sentence again. It took me a while, but I've got the hang of and the skill of the tool now. You guys can comment and leave your answers to this one. I'm focusing on getting the hang of and the new software technique this week. So I have my example that I'm focusing on getting the hang of OBS, which is a streaming software. It's a lot more complicated, but the reason why is I'm streaming now in 720p when I would like to stream in 1080p, but StreamYard is not free. So I'm trying to get the hang of streaming live, okay? Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, click like, and tell a friend about this channel because it's not so easy to grow on YouTube and I'm looking to connect with IT professionals. If you have a friend who's learning English, please connect and share this channel with them.